Please welcome Michael and Jessica, Grimm Collective.
Woo!
Hello. Let's do that again.
Woo! We love you. It's my princess wave. What is chirping?
It's the stage. Oh, that's when you walk in. It sounds like a mouse.
Hello, everybody.
That's what I said. Welcome. Are you on?
I think I'm on.
Blend.
I'm good.
Oh, maybe not.
These things are always so awkward, so thank you
Caleb,
for
number
joining
two's not
us.
working. It's on, but it's not working.
Is someone talking into it right now?
I'm blowing into it.
I can hear
All
it.
right, now we're on. Awesome.
Yay.
Yeah, we just had a few growing pains tonight, so thank you for your patience, everybody. Thank you for your patience. Okay, so, all right, guys, I had a line of questions for you, and it was completely derailed by the video you posted yesterday.
Wait, but why?
Because I must know first and foremost about your Rose Red experience.
Oh, so
I have
we're
to
going to
know.
ask a bunch of questions.
Yeah, first, but now I'm like, oh God, I got God, no, priority, Rose Red.
Rose Red.
How
Never heard of it.
was that?
It was good. It was magical.
Oh.
It was magical. And to be completely honest, we were a little concerned because Thornwood Castle, which is actually in Lakewood, not Tacoma, but it's like Tacoma area. Some people online get a little weirded out and they go, oh no, it was not Tacoma. But we were a little concerned because we rented out the place only to find out afterwards that they have a strict no video policy.
Wow, really?
So we're like, how are we going to pull this off? So we started filming the video in secret. And then this one here befriended the night watchman and started being like, just started talking and blabbering. I'm sitting there going, oh crap, they're going to shut us down, they're going to kick us out. But it turns out he was like, I mean this respectfully. He was like a failed film student who tried and just kind of walked away. So he was very happy that somebody was there doing something. So he was like, have at it. He even took us into some places that we couldn't show, but we got to see. It was neat.
The house itself must have at least 10 bedrooms, all of which you can rent. The Rose Red room is amazing, but the one that I cannot get rid of in my mind is the presidential. It's like walking into a hotel suite. You always want to see that. Here's like the expensive one. It's like that.
And it has so when you stand at the front of the house, or if you watch the video, who here has seen a Rose Red video? Thank you.
It's like the corner unit of the house, basically.
So
It's
if
like
you're
the biggest.
standing in the garden and looking at the mansion, there's a section that looks like it drops off, and it's on the right-hand side. That whole balcony belongs to this one
The
particular
presidential
suite.
room, yeah.
It's a beautiful place.
Wow.
It's beautiful. So what do you want to know about this place?
Everything that you could have shown in the video, but
If you do get to go, we showed in the video that they have behind the scenes pictures, really big blown up ones, and they have about 20 books. We only showed a few pictures in the video, but they have about 20 very large portfolio books that you are more than happy to go through. All behind the scenes of them building things, of them rehabbing the house. Yeah.
and it was really funny because I didn't love Rose Red, right? It's one of my favorites, and it's a real special one because it was never a novel. It was direct screenplay to the film, and I was like, I didn't know you could rent it at all, and I got online right away, and I just typed in some random date 6 months from now to see how much it was to rent the Rose Red room. It's pretty cheap. I mean, it was not that, it was one of the cheapest rooms they have. And my producer Nina's right there, and I said, girl, we gotta take a field trip to Tacoma.
Heck yeah. And it's oddly in like a little kind of gated area that's on the lake. So all the land used to belong to this one homeowner, and because they don't own the house anymore and it's changed hands a lot, then they've sold off pieces of property. So now it's like a lakefront community. Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw online, it looked like the Rose Red room had a view of the lake.
Yes.
Oh, Oh, how pretty was that?
Yeah.
So good.
And you can go swimming if you wanted to. So if you're a swimmer, you like the water,
The
you go
pier.
here, you can go
Yeah.
swimming.
I love the fact that they include a copy of the Rose Red in every room for you to watch. They have that DVD player and all
Really?
that. Yeah. But there's also a movie room and a game room and a massive kitchen, and you have free reign of everything. When we were there, there was just 2 other guests. It was a lady and her mom.
Wow.
They were in the presidential. That's how I got to see it.
So you rent a room and you can just wander around like that?
Yeah.
Wow. And what inspired you guys? Like, you do a lot of really interesting videos, a lot of interesting film locations. What inspired you to choose that one?
Well, we've been talking about it for a while as one of the places. Some houses have been turned into Airbnbs,
Yeah.
and you hear about these and you go, oh my God, I want to go online and check it out. And you go, ooh, I can't afford that. And it's one that we never went and looked up because we thought it was going to be exceptionally expensive, and it's so cheap.
It's so affordable.
It is. And they even include like a little gift basket with snacks.
Shut up.
Yeah.
So I say this a lot. I say that, I might even said it to a few of you today, these guys over here. We're not the first people to make videos on YouTube. We're not gonna be the last. There's people that are better, there's people that are worse, and we're just a couple that share our adventures. And we hope that other people get to go and explore. And one of the things that we love doing, and surprisingly they're the hardest videos, is filming locations. But
There's some movie magic happening at those locations that they pull off. I don't know how, but they do.
I really enjoy the idea. I kind of relish the thought of not only doing a filming location video, but actually going to and staying at the place, like putting yourself in it. You know what I mean? So you can watch a video, but any way that we can become the character, like staying at the
Yeah.
house, which is the character, why would we not? You know, we did a poltergeist. I said poltergeist. I speak weird. Poltergeist. Somebody said poltergeist. There's no D in that.
Expertise, they
Yeah.
call it.
At the very end of the video, I rented out the room that the Freeling family stays in. At the very end of the movie,
Wow.
you push it out.
Yeah,
I was like, why wouldn't I rent out that room? I didn't spend the night there. I just rented it out just so I could get inside.
Just to get the shot.
And that things like that put you in the mood.
yeah.
So yeah, things like that. Like we did the same thing with Scream,
Yeah.
where we spent the night in Stu's house, and we have a couple other things coming that I never tell her anything ever.
He really doesn't.
So one of the things we're getting ready to go to Europe. We're going to be staying in Frankfurter's Castle from Rock
Shut
Picture Show.
up.
We're going to be doing the
That's
same
a real
exact
place?
thing. It's a real place. It's bed and
Yeah.
breakfast.
Yeah.
We're going to stay there. We're going to spend the entire night recreating Rock Picture Show in that house.
You heard it here first, folks.
I heard it here first.
I love things like that.
I don't even know what to say.
And
Have you ever
we're
given-
wearing matching lingerie. Throughout the entire video. Heels, everything.
Perfect. Robes, yeah. I'm game.
Awesome. Okay, so another video that is not too new, it's a few months old, that I really loved was your Dominic Dunn
Oh, okay.
one. Growing pains over here. And I loved what you did and the respect you showed in that as well. But it was like, wow, you know, because I hadn't thought about it for a while. And how was it doing that one?
It was really hard. Doing anything in true crime, you have to remember that when you tell a story, you really want to be as respectful as possible. Not only to the story itself, the facts, the families at the time, but also the families that are living there now. And honestly, the one part of that entire video that sticks with me, like it plays in my head, is I included an interview with her dad. I don't remember what the documentary was from, but he says in the video that he ruined that judge for what he did. And which really kind of made me go, wait a second, you know, because you have the crime, you have what happened, and then you have the legal system that's supposed to, I'm not going to get into the whole aspect of it, But if you know the video, what I'm talking about, it's interesting to think that to him, that was even, in a way, almost worse than what actually happened. And that plays with me every single day. I think about it constantly.
Absolutely, yeah. We try to approach that with every true crime case, I would say, instead of a death, because everything's a different level of horror, and even though we are attracted to horror, it's a morbid curiosity, we all call it. You know, it's a part of life that you cannot escape, but nobody goes the same way.
Yes.
You know, and the being taken prematurely, having your life ended early, it's a kind of a mourning some people never get over. Some parents never get over it, and you know, can you imagine you stumble upon a YouTube video and someone's like splashing the crime scene photos out there, and like, or making jokes about it. We see that on social media all the time, and to us that is heartbreaking. You know, that level of disrespect, it's like, these were people. They are still people. Because they're gone doesn't mean anything. You know, they still deserve the love and respect and death that I would give them in life.
Yeah.
And there's videos that we won't touch.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Any specifics?
There's a family that was murdered in over Christmas. I think it was Christmas Eve out in California. So they called it the Santa Claus murders.
Yeah.
And it was a domestic violence situation thing. And there's a couple different reasons. Other people have done it, and it's just one of those things that people have talked about the family, and they've done a video as like their Christmas special. You know, where it's like, well, this happened on Christmas, let's talk about this. And we thought about doing it, and it's like, no, you just can't do that.
Right.
And other people just nonchalantly go about doing that.
We had gone to the family's grave, so in their respects, when we were looking up the information, because it's something we've heard, or it's also been a suggestion for people to us to cover. So naturally we look into it, and we went to where the house was, and you hear a lot of rumors like, oh, they never cleaned it, the tree's still up, or you know, whatever. I have no way of knowing how to get to the house, but just as like a full circle, we went and paid respects to all the family at their grave sites, you know.
Yeah. And sorry, which one was we were watching today? Was it Dahmer?
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Right. And I really loved what you did with that one. You're like, I'm not going to show the crime scene photos. Specifically, you said that, right? Just like what you're saying, showing respect.
I think a lot of people sometimes will click on something in order to see that. And there's television channels who do it all day long. I think that it's called ID, maybe, or UD or something like that. It's true crime, nothing but unsolved murder cases, for the most part. And,
You got it.
and they show crime scene photos all day, and it's just, even for me, I think that's too much. You can tell someone's story without having to show the graphics of it, because oftentimes it's not just simply that someone was killed. There's all manner of things that have happened to that person that that's an embarrassment to show them in that condition at the time of death. So it's a level of respect for me. I don't think that's necessary. If you want to come and find it, you can find it, but you don't do that to show it to you.
Yeah. Another one I loved was the Amityville one, and where you made it very clear that you were not overly welcomed there. How is that going to Amity?
The first time that I ever went there, the first time I ever went to Amityville for a video, and the video's long gone. I took it off YouTube a while ago, actually, I think.
You're pretty young at the time.
I was pretty young. It was the early stages of Grimm Life Collective, and I joke about it. Not the murders, but it was the first time that I ever got paid for doing YouTube, because I was standing out front pointing a camera, and neighbors drove by and they just threw a bunch of nickels at me. Like, get out of here. And they got hit with money, and I was like, yes. Respectfully, you know. But
I'm $1 richer.
right.
Maybe 50 cents.
Nickels.
But she never went. So whenever we decided to go back and tell the story, and originally we weren't going to. That was a last minute kind of video, was the retelling of Amityville with her in it. We weren't planning on doing that, only because it's been done time and time and time and time and time again. But we did. I thought it was a good video.
We did have some choice words spoken to us while we were there.
There was a jogger. I was filming. And
we were extremely careful that we were nowhere near their property, that we were on only public property,
Across the
that we weren't
street.
making a scene,
Right,
that
right.
we were gonna slip in and slip out as respectfully to the property owners as we could. Because when we first got there, the lady was unloading her car with groceries, and I said no.
we
So
sat in the
we're gonna
car
come back.
and waited for her to be done.
Yeah, so give her time to go in, maybe she'll be busy with putting out groceries, she won't be so bothered if she hears someone talking, it won't upset her, you know, if she's someone who gets upset with this sort of thing. And so he's up there on the corner, I'm standing back, and this young girl in her 20s starts reading it to him about how he's being disrespectful, you know, encroaching on her property, and said, no, I'm not, you know, and I'll be gone in 2 minutes. She didn't see me standing there at all, I don't know how. You missed me in my bright ass hair. And she started walking away saying something to him. I said, ma'am, we're being very respectful. And she just whipped her head around, like she didn't see me there at all. And suddenly she's embarrassed because it's one of those vigilantism things. She thought she was gonna tell a guy off and be a big old person. You could see she was shaking because she'd never confronted somebody in her life. And I was just like, have a good day. If she knew she was going to have an audience, she wouldn't have done it. You know what I mean? But she wanted to be one of those people who said, I told her guy to fuck off today.
Yes. Still, I told her to fuck off.
I told her to fuck off.
Yes, yes. And you had an issue with your daughter one too. A woman saying, get off the property.
Yeah.
And I also really loved how you handled that. You're like, I should have got too close. I shouldn't have done that. I apologize. And what you did, Nina and I really appreciated that as well, how you handled that, because you never really know how people are going to react. So,
And oftentimes they react like this because there are people who cross the property line, who hop fences, who have cameras in the windows, for God's sakes. And, you know, they deserve the respect. I would ask the same thing for my home.
yeah.
You know, I would never do something to someone else that I'm not comfortable with having received upon myself.
Absolutely. Do we have any audience questions? I know you do. Someone does.
The one shaking her
Come
head.
on.
No, it's all right.
Don't be shy.
You have a whole list.
Oh, and speaking of, this is not for us, really, but this gentleman here, and I think some other people got it. A good friend of ours, a guy by the name of Adam Michaels, he's an artist known as Adam's Art Box. He created this amazing art piece of Jessica and I, and it's gorgeous. He has one in the bag. If
He
you
just
can,
walked up to our
hold
table
it
and was
up.
like, I made these for you guys to sell today. I was
Like, it's cool.
It's really cool.
We're very proud of that. Like,
Yeah.
we love this guy's artwork, and he just gifted us that today, and it was just like, holy crap.
They're gorgeous.
All right, so I'll just do a couple of these. How do you guys decide your next location and where it's going to be and why?
Magic 8 Ball.
That's not the answer
Is that the
you
answer you
wrote.
gave him?
No. Ask again later, next. We're always, what was the question one more time?
How do you decide your next location and why?
In a way, we started to build some of our adventures around Days of the Dead conventions. What's in the area? What can we get to on our way here?
Yeah.
You know, that we can stop and see. Yeah, because we love that Days of the Dead thing.
Well,
They're in so many different cities too.
Yeah.
this will expand on that. History is always happening.
Yes.
I mean, I'm like a teacher now. History is always happening. There's so much of it. It goes back for so long, and history's happening now, not just in our country, but in other countries. And it fascinates me. Like, I want to see it all. And there are people on YouTube that go back and they revisit things. It's like, okay, last month I did this museum. Got nothing else to film, let's go back and visit the same museum. What did they change? Oh, it's one thing. They just moved it over here. It's like, why? You know, there's other countries, there's other, people have different ways of doing things. There's ways people look at horror differently, you know, and I want to see it all. So that's also a driving force. It's different than what I told you earlier. now expanding on it. It's the same, but more.
Cause we like our geeky stuff too.
Yeah.
And obviously you guys have seen that we love Disney. You know, we're just a big bunch of nerds.
And as for the Days of the Dead comment, you know, we love the Days of the Dead family. And we consider all of you guys like family. I'm not talking like no cult kind of thing. But,
Grimm life cult.
right? No. Well, we learned early on. Well, how many people here watch a movie or like the Golden Girls when they go to bed? They put it on and they go to
Just let it
sleep,
run.
right? How many people do that to our videos? A lot, right? Thank you. And because you invite us into your
That's awesome.
homes all the time, that's why we call you guys our family. Because we're our family traveling, and you guys get to experience that. And hopefully, we inspire you to go out and explore and see the world. So from our family, the Kolence family, that's our last name, to yours, thank you.
Cause we do think about you guys all the time. We
I
really
don't
do.
have a question, but I have a comment. Your La Laronia video when you couldn't pronounce her name every time. It was so funny.
I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it. La Llorona.
La Llorona.
But like, it's funny. It's not funny. I asked a lot of friends who are Hispanic.
My best
how
friend
to
is
say
Mexican
this.
American, and
So I
I
wanted to
called
get
her
it
out
right,
just to
you know?
be sure.
Yeah.
I was like, please don't be offended. I was like, can you tell me how to say this properly? Because
question.
if you listen into the movies, there's been several movies done, everybody pronounces it different.
And in that movie, they say it wrong like 2 different times. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm good.
Young lady in the back.
What is your guys' favorite YouTube channel? What is your favorite YouTube video that you have made so far?
So you got 2 questions. Did you mean for that? 2 questions? Okay, so our favorite video, we'll start with that one first. We're gonna give 2. Mine, there's a lot of nostalgia on our channel. But for me, it always comes back to things that were visually, like, blew me away. Like, it was just pure magic, just standing there and looking at it with my own 2 eyes. You know, movies, they'll suck you in, like, wow, look at that. But then when you see it with your own 2 eyes, and you go, this is beautiful. Goosebumps. I'm gonna go back once again to our Pet Cemetery video.
Yeah.
We were driving through Maine. It was raining, and there was one scene in that video where she's standing at the top of the rock quarry. And I'm standing behind her, and I'm walking up the hill, and I tell her just to stand there. And as we come up there, you see like the ocean and the mountains, and there's sailboats out there. It was just gorgeous. It's like permanently burned into my memory. So that's mine.
We had a different experience for that segment of that video because this beautiful 6'2" creature was like, you know what? I gotta get down there.
I'm a daredevil.
And again, it was raining. It's a rock quarry. It's very steep,
Yeah.
slick rock cliffs. He's doing it one-handed, holding a camera rig. He has big feet. Anybody who has, I have big feet. Anybody who knows once, like, oops, I tripped over my shoes and I fell over a cliff. You know what I mean? Like, the entire time he was down there, he talked about this big, beautiful experience. And I was like, terrified. The entire time he was down there, and because he was down there for at least 20 minutes. And I'm just up here going, like, in your head, you start to plan things.
Yeah.
Like, because there was no cell service, so I was like, okay, how far do I have to walk down until I get cell service? And then, do I just call 911 immediately, or do I call my mom? And where's the car? How do I get the car home? Like, you just start planning, you know, because what if something goes wrong and you want to, like, kind of mentally be prepared? That's what happens in my head when you do things like that. But yes, it was beautiful to see it.
What's your favorite video?
Ooh, okay. I'm gonna go on one of our most recent ones because it was just magical as all hex. It was Bad Booty, and it was Twilight. So I was not, I don't know what they're called, the Twilightians or the Twilighters, I think they're called. I'd seen the movies, I thought they were okay, I read the books, I thought they were okay. I had preferences for the vampire movies and vampire authors, The one thing that, to me, Twilight did right was the cinematography. And you think, I mean, they obviously do a blue hue over the whole movie, but once you're in Oregon, you're like, basically all they did was color touch this a little bit, but that is literally what you're seeing. And it is the most stunning place I've ever gone. It is the most magical place I've ever gone. Your turn.
I already did mine. I said Pet Cemetery.
No, we're doing two. You
Oh.
do one more, I'll do one more.
Well, no, that was 2 questions. You started off, you asked a certain question, and then you.
I thought you said we're gonna
skipped
do
it.
two, like two equal picks, okay.
So, taking the question word for word, if there's any other YouTube content creators that we watch, that's what I'm guessing. I'm gonna go with that. I made it up. We spend so much time in the world of YouTube that we absolutely watch nobody. There's nobody that we watch. We want to, we're friends with them all. You make friends with them all, but you just don't,
Yeah.
you don't have the time.
Yeah.
You wish you did, you don't have the time.
But also, in this day and age, at least 75% of my friends all have a YouTube channel. And look, there's not enough time in this world for me to keep up on every single friend's YouTube channel, but half the time when I do listen, I'm an ASMR person. I love to hear sounds, recorded sounds, so that's usually what I'm doing.
With that being said, there's one YouTube content creator that I watch, just one, religiously. And that's mainly
Oh, good,
because
yeah.
he posts about once a month, and his videos are like 5 minutes long. I'm like, perfect. It's a guy by the name of Casey Neistat. Have you ever heard of him? Yeah, his videos really aren't like the greatest God's thing on whatever, but they're just fun to watch.
Yeah.
They're just fun to watch. As a channel that really, I hate the word, prides herself on trying to be as cinematic as possible. He goes through great lengths to just kind of tell a story just using the camera with no words. And I respect that.
With as many different camera
Yeah.
angles as he can get into 5 minutes.
So I watched that.
He's a master at editing. It's a lot of fun. And I think, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but one of the people I probably watch most frequently, which is maybe just once or twice a month, is German in Venice.
Yeah, Mike. His name's Mike as well.
Yeah, he's such a sweet man. And I maybe thought of him because we're about to go to Germany.
Awesome. Good questions.
Excellent
Long
question.
answer. We take the long way around.
Always.
Welcome to the club.
You always take the long way, Michael.
Yeah.
Yes. So when my wife and I, we travel for conventions and stuff, I have this pet peeve of not eating, I mean, it's a common thing, I'm sure, but not eating franchise stuff and research locations and famous spots. I was wondering if you had a similar interest or like a favorite not so like franchise or not so well known food spot that you've been to out of your
Gosh, there's so many, depending on the city, for sure. One that has a little bit of a chain that we do tend to love to go to is, I'm gonna say it wrong, Porta something.
Huh?
Portillo's?
What is it?
Portillo's?
Portillo's!
Portillo's,
yes.
Yeah, discovered that when we were in Chicago for me, but there was one in Pittsburgh, so you've been going to that one. We love diners. We
Yeah.
love old, what do they call them, metal
Metal
wall
wall
diners?
They look like metal like boxes. I love that.
Yeah, retro diners, that sort of thing. We once did the burger place to Get Out. That was cool. Or was it Get Out or was it,
Nope.
Nope. The movie Nope. The burger place they go to, and it was so amazing. It was really good. So we do try to track down some places, but we don't generally, I guess, report them. I don't think we ever have.
We are attempting to do this thing called Grimm Eats. You know, it's like a little like offshoot where it's like interesting places to eat that have to do with horrible things. That sounds fun.
Oh, if you ever go to Vegas, there's a pizza place called Slice.
Yes.
So we are getting older.
Hey.
And I am getting older. This one here is 21. She's a vampire. She'll never grow old. This is the way she is. I'm getting older, and it's harder to eat a whole bunch of junk food or like burger after burger after burger while you're on the road. So I've become more health conscious. And that leads me to a fun story. Can I tell a story?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
When we were in New York, we were doing a video on Aaliyah, her final resting place. And at the very end of the video, we decided to go into this beautiful mausoleum that was just absolutely stunning. And we go in there, and it smelled like somebody was having a barbecue.
Smells so good.
It smelled magnificent
Like a smokehouse.
for the first like 30 seconds.
Okay.
And then it got to the point where it was like,
It's dry.
it's like if somebody were to take the meat off of the grill and just smother you with it, and then you were just breathing it. I mean, it's a lot,
burning. A little
right?
Like the grill was maybe burning.
I was starting to get sick, and I was like, what the? I just, we were looking for, who's Korea?
I don't remember, but I stopped to look at urns because we don't have an urn yet for your mom.
Yeah.
And there was a door right next to it, and a guy was just kind of like leaning against the door.
Like he was blocking the door and just kind of going,
Like he's just hanging out. And I'm standing there looking at urns. He asked me something and I don't remember. I looked over at him and there's like a little flag above the door and it didn't click.
no, you go ahead.
It was the crematorium.
So, respectfully, they had somebody in there, and the person weighed more than originally was put on the charts, so
They were having some difficulties and he was being smoked out of the crematorium and had to get a breather.
So, I say jokingly, I'm a character. I always like to say that whenever I put a mic in my hand, I turn into Jeff Goldblum from like hell. But I still smell it.
People smell like barbecue.
And I purposely try to go as, I'm not vegetarian or I'm vegan, but I try to lean more towards that diet because of that reason. Because every time I eat a burger, every time I eat a steak, I'm standing in that crematorium
You're
going,
smelling Joe.
yeah. And so that's just me. And I made a post about it. And somebody was like, oh my God, I can never watch Grimm Life Collective again. They went political. And I went,
Wait, what?
exactly.
What?
Yeah. Because we said we were going to try and get healthier and adapt a bit more of a vegetarian diet.
We don't talk about three things on our channel. Politics. Think whatever you want. It's your thing. We never say what we believe in. We just leave it all completely. The other one being sports. We don't talk about sports. You like sports? Awesome.
False.
We don't talk about ghosts. We kind of do, we kind of don't, but we don't go ghost
We
hunting.
talk about spirits.
Spirits. The stories
Yeah.
of the deceased.
Yeah, the spirituality of it all, but you don't
So
talk
I
about
don't
it. Yeah.
Long way around your question.
It sort of has a little commentary on this subject is, I don't know when this happened, but I
I'll
can't,
go for you.
I can't eat and watch art at the same time. I know it could be the goriest thing, and I can sit there and watch it, and it's no big deal. But the second a fork starts going towards my mouth, it could be the silliest gore. It could be the worst, like, CG type movie. It doesn't even look real, right? It's obviously fake. The second a fork starts going towards my mouth, I can't do it. It's just like running joke that, we have to watch a different movie because Jess is eating.
Do you have the same reaction with the psychological horror? Is it only like slasher horror?
It's blood.
Blood
Guts and
horror.
gore.
It's
So like
gore,
those
it has to be
stories,
gore, yeah.
Conjuring, you wouldn't have that same reaction.
And only while it's on the screen. So like if they're in a car driving somewhere,
so it's just
it'll
a
be
scene
completely
thing.
fine. But
Okay.
if someone starts being murdered on screen and there's a fork in my face, the two cannot exist together.
Do you guys want to know what the movie is to bring her back to reality? So if we're eating something and we're watching something and there's blood, guts, and gore, it immediately goes off. She's like, I can't do it, I can't do it. She gets herself all worked up. She starts almost panicking.
I do not.
They put on Trolls. And then she sings to Trolls and she's good for the rest of the night.
That part's true. I love trolls. I love the trolls. I sleep to them actually. I don't know what it is. I love it. But I don't get worked up. But I will gag a couple times. So
You get a little agitated?
Oh, we saw a video of the guy trying to suck up an egg on the counter. It's the weirdest. It was a YouTube video or something from TikTok, and he was watching a video where a mom was cooking. She dropped the egg on the counter. She sucked it up and spit it into the pan. Like she didn't even blink. She just did it. And he was like,
I'll do it.
I'll do it. And so cue 10 minutes of this man trying to force himself to suck up an egg off the counter, and he can't do it. You and he starts like dragging it. And at the very, very end of this, his lips are so close to touching the damn thing, I start dry heaving. I'm like, I can't do it either. I'm watching him, I'm like, I can't watch you do it.
And then we went on tropes.
Everything
was good.
Everything was beautiful, yeah, that's great.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Any other audience questions? Don't be shy, yes.
Is there a location that you guys want to go to, but you don't know if it's even a possibility to get
There's one that we've been trying to get to for about 4 years.
What's that?
Salem.
In Salem?
The TV show. Salem.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Beautiful show. We've been trying to, it was filmed on like the game reserve or something like that. The sets are still there. As far as we know, someone topped the fence, which they shouldn't have because this is a lifetime kind of situation. And as far as we know, the sets are still there. We've made a little leeway, but it keeps falling flat every time we get close.
We don't trespass.
Uh-huh.
And in just outside Shreveport, there is a movie set that's still there, like Justin was saying, the TV show Salem. Anybody seen it? Seen it? Okay. It's all still there. Looks identical to that. In fact, there are people that have trespassed on the property and people who've done videos where they fly drones over, down to the water, into the buildings, and they have like prop rats. They have like, the houses are filled with all these things from the sets. And we've been wanting to get in it for so long. We've tried everything. We've reached out to the sheriff of the parish, all these different things, and it's a place where people go hunting. So if you trespass on this place, you could get yourself shot if it's in season, so don't trespass. So last year we did the haunt series, where we went to all these different haunts, the scariest haunts in the United States, and we talked to the owners, and it turns out one of the haunt owners is friends with the owners of the property. So we went down that route. We actually talked to the guy on the phone. He's like, yeah, you guys are more than welcome to come down, do your thing. And then all of a sudden he disappeared. So I don't know if he's alive, if he's dead, or what, but we had permission, and then he's gone.
We're trying. I want to get there so bad. That's the person that came to mind for me, but I won't let you.
No, that's it.
That's
it.
Damn it,
But
Salem.
surprisingly, things, especially in the world of YouTube, seem to happen. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if it's, I hate talking like this. I don't know if it's because we're trying to do something right. We're trying to grow this thing called Grimm Life, and it's growing. I mean, look at us. I mean, we're getting invited to these shows to come and talk and meet family members. Or we're showing respect to families or businesses. And a lot of times people go into businesses and they say, I'm going to show everything. Then why would you buy a ticket to go to this museum if people are showing everything for free? You know, I don't know if it's because we're doing something right, but magic keeps happening. I like to say I'm like the Willy Wonka of YouTube, because one of my dreams living in Hollywood was to go on top of the Knickerbocker Hotel, where Harry Houdini's last seance was. And one day, I go there, and the security guard is like, I'm a fan of your channel, come on up. It's like, what?
But like previous to that, we've gone to like the office and tried to get permission
Get
and
off
things like that.
property, leave.
Yeah.
So, there's a time for everything.
Yeah, and if I can just like comment on that, I think your magic is your personalities. Not only the respect you have for the material that you're covering, like we talked about earlier, but who you guys are. You put your personalities into your videos and you show yourselves. And even here at the panel, at the conventions, you're so genuine, right? You know you are. You know you are. But you're so genuine, and people see that, and people know that, and people follow that, and people want to see more of that. I think that might be a little bit of your success, not just your content, but who you are. Am I right, everyone?
Yep.
Yeah, a little bit? Yeah, that's just my opinion.
Thank you.
Oh, I made a blush. No, but yeah, because we can watch any YouTuber go to Abbyville, right?
Yeah.
But I like watching your videos.
It kind of is like finding the person who vibes with you the
Yeah.
most, yeah. And I've noticed there's a lot of what I call the yo boys who do a lot of videos, you know what I'm saying? Like that, someone who would definitely love the college humor side of like the world and probably makes inappropriate comments, you know, and that sort of thing. And I don't want to watch that. I hate that kind of personality. You know, you can tell that they're not genuine in anything that they do. And so I understand that we're, for lack of a better term, naked on our channel. You know, we don't pretend to be anybody else, certainly not in person, because I can't lie to save my life. And,
Audiences sense phony.
yeah.
Whether it's on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, audiences sense phony.
And that's probably one of the most common pieces of advice we give to people who ask us, hey, I want to start doing videos too, can you give me some tips? That's probably one of the first things we say is just be yourself, dude. People can tell if you're forcing it, you know? And I think too, especially with the horror community, I've noticed specifically with this community, how very warm-hearted everybody is. We watch some of the goriest, violent, really messed up stuff in our films, right?
And trolls.
Yeah, right? And then we all come together and we have a hug fest. You know, it's probably one of the sweetest, most loving communities I've ever been a part of. And I think that particularly for this community, for someone to walk in with a big ego and be like, hit that bell. Sorry, that's an inside joke. I think it just doesn't work. And I mean, not against anybody who does it that way, but I've noticed those are the people who do tend to struggle with their number count, I guess you would call it, or just connecting with people. Because they're almost expecting fame out of it. It's like, that's not why we're in for it. Like,
When I hear that, I mean, sometimes I know that it helps the channel, and I appreciate what who the person is and what they're doing. I do subscribe and like and comment.
Same.
I know it helps the algorithm, right?
Yeah.
But sometimes it feels like a beg,
Yeah.
and that's not genuine. That's please like me.
At this point, if you're watching a channel and you like them, you want to see more, you're going to do that.
Yeah,
Whether you
exactly.
subscribe or just type in their name, either way, it's just have the adventure and have fun. You know what I mean? Just have fun. If you're not having fun, don't watch it. Don't make
In a
it.
way, I feel like we're all one big anxiety support group. Honestly, like who here doesn't have anxiety? Exactly, thank you.
Okay, guys, thank you for being with us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
for being with us
Cheers.
tonight. Give it up.
And now somebody gets to fart living.